Hello, good afternoon. Join me, your Tulika ma'am, in your English class. I hope you're all safe and you are attending your classes religiously and you are preparing for your upcoming exams. Now, children, please do count your exams very seriously. Prepare your time schedules, time slots, okay, for the different subjects. Keep English at least for 1 hour every day. English you practice like if you are going through the explanation ones, keep a day for practice. Alternately, you just arrange your time slots for your language. But 1 hour is must, because I told you before also that this subject helps you a lot in increasing your percentage. It's a very scoring subject, children, and it helps you in increasing your percentage. So please, 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 1 hour every day. Prepare your timetable slot. Give a 1 hour slot for English every day. Right? Now, today, children, the class is important as because I'll be taking up your grammar, and I feel that my children, they are good, but they're not good in grammar. They are good in grammar, but they're not very good in grammar. So, in grammar, you know how you can be master of grammar section with your practice. And here, you should be clear with all the explanation of grammar section. If you are with any doubts in grammar section, you can never solve the answers. It's just like your mathematics. You have to be very clear, and like your mathematics, you can score the full marks in grammar section. All right. So today I'll be taking up the modals. Now, what are modals, children? Modals are also known as modal auxiliary verbs. They denote the action of the main verb. Okay. Now, this the modal auxiliaries which denote the action of the main verb are called modals. Now, the modals are linked up with other verbs. Which verbs? Lexical verbs to be present in the sentence. Okay. So, more to explain it, I prepared. If I go on orally, I think you won't. Now, what are the modals? इतना तो बोल ही सकते हैं. इसमें confusion कुछ नहीं है. जैसे should, must, ought to, shall, can. These are all the modals. And children, for your more clear explanation, I have prepared a PDF, and don't you worry, the PDF is very simple, very simple. Whatever I told, I've just presented in a PDF form, and very simple, children. Then also, if you are having any doubts, any mistakes, please don't hesitate to ask me, children. Right? So, let me share my screen with the PDF which I prepared. So, here you are, children. Yes. Class 10th English Modals Grammar section. Modal auxiliaries that express the mode of action denoted by the main verb. The modal auxiliaries that expresses the mode of action denoted by the main verbs are called the modals. What are the main verbs? Like those action verbs. Sit, jump, catch, teach, learn, run, eat, laugh. Okay? Now, the modal auxiliaries that expresses mode of action. She can talk. Talk is the main verb. Can. Understood? So this is the modals. Understood? The modal verbs are also called modal auxiliary verbs and are modal verbs are also called modal auxiliary verbs and are like auxiliary verbs used in combination with the lexical verbs. Lexical verbs, you remember? I'll just revise it. Don't you worry. So with the lexical verbs. The next lexical verbs are the action verbs as well as the linking verbs. The lexical verbs are of two types, the action verbs and the linking verbs. Now, what are the action verbs? These things all you know. मेरे बच्चे ये सब कुछ आप लोग जानते हो. ये just एक revision है. Action verbs denote physical. मगर revision है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं क्लास में बस ऑन करके मैं कहीं और घूम रहा हूँ. नहीं भाई. या घूम रही हूँ. नहीं भाई. Please be attentive in the class. Please join me in the class. And you know, I just make out different techniques to test whether you are there in my class. बहुत खराब हैबिट है मेरा. ठीक है, तो सब लोग मेरी क्लास में रहो बच्चा. Action verbs denote physical activities such as drink, eat, hit, jump, kick, walk, run. Okay, action verb also represents mental activities or states such as forget, love, hate, etc. Right? Now, what are linking verbs? For example, now linking verbs भी हम लोग जानते हैं मैम. We know it. But yes, you know. I'm sure you know it. But then also this is a revision. Okay? Revision मतलब ये नहीं कि क्लास से बाहर चले गए. Please be with me. There are a problem. The word are is the linking verb. Now, for example, in the sentence, there are a problem. Okay? The word are is there are problems. Okay, this are is wrongly used here. The sentence is wrong. There are problems. I'll be writing there in the correction note in my video also. There are problems. Okay, there are a problem. No, there is a problem. Then there should be is. The sentence is wrong somewhere. Okay, I'll be writing in the correction note also in my video. There is a problem, or okay, there are problems. The word are is the linking verb that connects they and problem. There is a problem. If I say there is a problem, then there and problem is connected by whom? By is. Isn't it? There are problems. So are is connecting they and the problem to show the relationship between the two words. The most common linking verbs are the form of the verb to be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been. The modals are modified forms of helping verbs. That is, they modify the mood of the actual action verb. The main modals are as follows: shall, will, should, would, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need, has, had, have to, etc. The use of modal verbs. The modal verbs are used to express functions such as modal verbs किस लिए हम लोग यूज करते हैं, कब यूज करते हैं, मेन वर्ब के साथ, वो देख लो बेटा. We use it while taking a permission, while showing an ability, okay, obligation, prohibition, lack of necessity, advice, possibility, probability. Right? Now the examples of modal verbs. Here is a list of modals with example. Okay? Now I've Somehow I've managed to prepare a table for you. Modal verb, expressing an example. Now modal verb, strong obligation. Must. Modal verb, must. When do we use must, children? Must कब use करते हैं? During strong obligation. You must obey your parents. Strong obligation. ठीक है? Now logical conclusion or certainty. Logical conclusion and certainty. What is that? He must be working hard so we can expect good results. Okay? Logical conclusion. He must be working hard so I can expect good result. Okay? So this is logical conclusion. Now let us see what example is there in the table. Must is the modal verb expressing strong obligation, logical conclusion and certainty. Example, you must stop when the traffic light turns red. Okay? Logical conclusion and certainty. He must be very tired. He has been working all day long. Right? Now must not. That is prohibition. Must not. What is the modal verb here? Must not. And the expression is prohibition. ठीक है? The mana. So you must not smoke in the hospital. You must not play the loudspeaker in the fullest volume. You must not waste water. Okay? You must not waste your precious time. So this is prohibition, right? Now can. Can is the modal verb. The expression is can be used for ability, can be used for permission, can be used for possibility. Ability, I can lift this 20 kgs. Oh, a good strong person. I can lift this 20 kgs. This is ability. Permission, can I use your smartphone? He said, no. In this corona time, I am not going to give anybody my cell phone. Can I use your cell phone, please? So this is permission, possibility. It can, you may say, it can cause injurious, it can cause high fever. You are loitering in the sun, it can cause high fever. You are just moving around in the sun, it can cause high fever. You can catch cold. You are having cold chilled Coke. Okay. So this is what? So let me see. Ability. I can swim. Yes. Permission. Can I use your phone, please? Possibility. Smoking can cause cancer. Now continuation of the table. Ability in the past. What it says? Could. The modal verb could. Modal verb could. Ability in the past. Polite permission. ठीक है? Could also denotes the possibility. Possibility. Okay? Ability in the past. I could walk faster when I was in school like you people. Now, polite permission. Excuse me. Could I write this on the board? Okay. Possibility. It could be a sunny morning tomorrow. It could be a sunny morning tomorrow. Okay. So now, see what is there in the ability in the past. When I was younger, I could run fast. It is very true. Yes, I could. Polite permission. Excuse me. Could I just say something? Possibility. It could rain tomorrow. Now may. May is permission. May I use your phone, please? Permission. May I come in, please? May I go to drink water, please? Possibility. It may rain. Probability. Tomorrow. It may rain tomorrow. It may rain in the morning tomorrow. It may rain in the afternoon. So these are the possibilities and probabilities. Now might. Might, polite permission. Might I suggest an idea? Might, possibility or probability. I might go on holiday to Australia next year. Might is the polite permission. Might I suggest an idea? Okay. Possibility, it also denotes possibility, or probability. I might go on a holiday to Australia next year. Aha. Need not. Lack of necessity, absence of obligation. I did not buy tomatoes. Here are plenty of tomatoes in the fridge. Now, obligation, 50% obligation. I should or ought to see a doctor. I have a terrible, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Need not means lack of necessity or absence of obligation. I did not buy tomatoes. There are plenty there in the refrigerator. Okay. Now the next is ought to or should. The modals is the modal verb is here the should and ought to. So should and ought to denotes 50% of obligation, advice and logical conclusions. Logical conclusions. Now 50% of obligation, I ought to see a doctor. I have a terrible headache. I ought to see a doctor. I have a terrible headache. Now the advice. You ought to revise your lesson. Okay? Advice. You ought to revise your lesson. You should revise your lesson. Now, logical conclusion. You ought to be very tired. He's been working all day long. He's been working all day long. Had better. Had better. Advice. You would better revise your lessons. Okay? So, remember children, just a recap now. We are at the end of the class. I think you've understood it properly. Remember that modal verbs are followed by an infinitive without to, also called a bare infinitive. Examples: you must stop when the traffic light turns red. You should see to the doctor. There you should see. All right? There are a lot of tomatoes in the fridge. They need not buy any. So, children, that's the end of your session today. Hope you have understood. Not only understood, you were not monotonous. You have followed the class properly. You have enjoyed the class. You have understood something. And now I'll be sharing the document in a PDF form. And there would be the exercises, right? And please, whenever you solve the exercise in your notebooks, please draw a circle and write the marks obtained. Okay, the answers also I'll be sharing in a separate PDF or in your document section, right? Till then, be safe, keep on studying and be good as you're always, right? Jai Hind, my loving children, again eager to meet you the next day. Goodbye.